פרשת כסיסה תשפ"ד. Okay, it's a very difficult subject, and I broke it into 4 parts. We'll see. I'll cheat a little bit. I'll give you a little bit of insight since I'm not going to have you on Shabbos, most of you, but I will give you some insight on in order to have a full picture and understand the whole inyan of the Egel, how is it possible that it was done? Where did Bnei Yisrael play the role? Where is the Erev Rav's role? Why did Aaron accept to do it when his nephew Hur, the son of Miriam, refused and they slaughtered him? You know, simply, we know that Avodah Zarah is one of the 3 mitzvahs of Yehareg V'Al. A person has to give up his life and not be over on it. So it's a very, very dark subject and requires a lot of, and has a lot of depth and a lot of messages to people like us to understand simple things that when you meet certain people and you have an exchange with them, the effect it could have on you. And what can I do when I doubt that someone is not, the right person, or, and so forth. What to do? Because what happened that the vice chair of the Bnei Yisrael, Aaron HaKohen, who becomes the Kohen Gadol, is gonna fall in the trap, and he's gonna be the one to create the ego that till today we suffer because of it. It makes no sense. That if the Erev Rav had done it on their own, it's fine. But that Aaron HaKohen was involved into it. And what was the cheshbon of Aaron? Does it say somewhere in the Psukim what was the cheshbon of Aaron? Moshe Rabbeinu is going to go to Aaron and says, oh, you have done a very big sin. Usually it's chet gadol. It's in the masculine, we say that. But here, Moshe Rabbeinu is going to tell him, chata'a gedoila. Even when he's going to talk to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's going to say in that language that you're not going to find again in the Torah, chata'a gedoila, in feminine. And when Aaron is going to explain to Moshe Rabbeinu what took place, Moshe Rabbeinu is fine. What do you mean you're fine? What did he tell you in the pasuk? We're going to see a little bit in the lashon of the pasuk. I'm going to refrain from asking questions because there's not one set of psukim, one set of things that is not grammatically wrong, words, extra words, wrong tense, and so forth. Not one in this whole parsha. So I'm going to try to just give it as an insight of a story behind the story, so it'll be a lot more digestible and you will understand, because the most important thing that we have to learn from it is, what's the take for me? We're going to learn Parshas Kisisa again this year, Tafshin Pedalet, 2024. It means that there is something in this parsha that we have to take with us. And what we have to take with us is tremendous. And people, we have tendency to brush. Who are the people that brush off things? You will be able to understand with your eyes, but not those eyes, the eyes of the mind, who's who and in which box to put them. And you're going to know after that, you're going to take your risk. Do I want to interfere with them or I don't want? But it's going to be your choice. Pray Hashem that gives me the right words. but it's a very, very difficult subject. Even on Shabbos, I'm not going to have time to go through the 4 parts. I'm going to try to give it anyway. This is the whole thing starts. The whole inyan of the Egel. Vayar ha'am, the people saw, Hiboishesh Moshe, that Moshe was late. La redes minahar, to come down from the mountain. Vayikahel ha'am, you didn't have to say the second time, but the subject here is am. Okay. Just want to show you. They gathered al Aharon, on Aharon. They didn't want anyone else to do the ego, only Aaron. Vayomru Elav, they told him, come, stand up. Why do you need to stand up? Aseh lanu Elohim, make us a God. You could have said simply, Aseh lanu Elohim, Vayomru Elav, Aseh lanu Elohim. Do us a God, Avodah Zarah. But no, this guy is smart. Asher yelchu lefanenu, that should go before us. That should lead us. And they're going to show very intelligently that they have nothing on Moshe Rabbeinu. They're going to talk with respect. Kize Moshe ha'ish, because Moshe, that person, usually it's ha'ish Moshe, the adjective first. So what do they mean by this? But anyway, on the outside, it seems to be, they give a compliment. Asher elanu meretz Mitzrayim, that brought us out from Eretz Mitzrayim. The first commandment. You see how people get trapped with their mouth? And this I need, from now on, I'm going to show you how to read. It should become a reflex to listen to people's words. And not just to understand what they want from you, the meaning of their words. No, who they are. The first commandment in the Aseret HaDibros is Anochi Hashem Elokecha Asher Elesicha Me'eretz Mitzrayim. Not Moshe. You see, when someone wants to be overly good and overly, try to cream you up, right away, you have to know that his intentions are not genuine. This is the title that HaKadosh Baruch Hu took for himself. He is the one that brought us out. That's the first commandment. That's the Bereshis. But they say this on Moshe Rabbeinu. Lo yodanu mehayalu. We don't know what happened to him. What do you mean you don't know what happened to him? Rashi says on the spot, the Satan came out with a bed and he showed Moshe Rabbeinu lying on it. So he died. Everybody's seen it. So what do you mean you're coming to Aaron and you tell him, Lo yodanu mehayalo, we don't know what happened to him. What do you mean? You don't know why he died? What's the difference? The words of a person is what gives him away. But Aaron HaKohen will see through to a certain point. Vayomer aleihem Aharon. Aharon said to them, Parku nizmei hazahav. You want me to create the Egel? Fine, I will create the Egel. But I need then that you go and remove the nizmei hazahav is golden rings. In the whole entire Torah, nizmei hazav we see in the psukim they were worn on the nose. It says in the Torah, in the Nevi'im, and in the Psubim, always in the nose. Here, Aaron HaKohen says, I'm not going to have time to go into that, but I'll explain you that little part of the intention of Aaron, how Aaron understood what they meant, and how he's going to try to play them back. Parkun is me'azav, remove the rings, the golden rings, asher be'oznei neshechem, that are in your wives' ears, v'nechem, your children ears, uvnoisechem, and your daughters. I need those ones. Vehaviu elai, and bring them to me. Aaron HaKohen was trying to delay them. Because, a woman that won't give in, so easily, give me your earrings and so forth. But we will explain exactly what Aaron wanted to do. Vayisparku. Oh my gosh, grammatically here, you take it from any side you want. Vayifarku. What do you mean? Vayisparku. Kalam, all the people, so I mean they removed, but the language here is grammatically wrong. As nizmei hazahab, the golden rings, asher be'oznehem, that were in their own ears, vayaviu el Aharon, they brought to Aharon. Vayikach miyadam. Honestly, we need the sponsor. He took it from their hands. What do we care? Vayatzar oisoi bacheret. The truth is, Vayatzar, he created it inside the cheret. The cheret, the Zohar would explain that it's a pouch. He put the whole gold in the pouch. He threw it into the fire. Vayasehu. And he did it. Who he? It's not Agel. It's an Agel Masecha. We never say the word Agel almost by itself in the Torah. It's always called the Agel Masecha, like reminding us what the Torah says, Elohe Masecha Loisasela. You're not allowed to create idols. How the Torah is calling idols, Elohe Masecha. Also Fesel, but one of the languages, it's gods of cover. What does this mean? What is the Egel? Masecha. Egel, I know what it is. Masecha, I know what is a Masecha. It's a carver. But what is the Egel of Masecha? By Yoimru, and they said, Eile Elohecha Yisrael. These are your gods in Israel. In plural, there's only one Egel. Which God? Asher he'elucha me'eretz Mitzrayim, that brought you up from Eretz Mitzrayim. You see, here, I'm really going to put the accent on it today, and because that's the only defense. That's a knowledge I can give it, I can pass it along pretty easily by training you to listen, by training you to analyze words. Because the words we saw last week is the expression of the das. The only way we have to know the inside and also the intention of the person, he will always reveal that in his words. As much as he's going to put out a lie, within that lie, you will have the answer of what he's looking for. Now you saw, we asked, Asher he'elanu meretz Mitzrayim. At the beginning, they recognized Moshe Rabbeinu. How is it possible? Let me ask you something. We're talking about the Dordea, big, huge, and we'll see who these Erev Rav were. Huge people, huge. We cannot brush them aside like this and say, Rishaim and all kind of words. For sure, they're Rishaim and everything. But what led them to become what they became It's not so simple, and we should give some respect and work hard in order to find out. But we see at the end, you see how they started working from the right path. It was HaKadosh Baruch Hu that brought us up from Mitzrayim. They signed it to Moshe Rabbeinu to create the lie, to smoothen the lie. But after that, right away, pure Avodah Zarah. But then we don't understand because there's only one Egel and they talk in plural. And it says at the beginning, Aselanu, make for us. So why do you talk to the Bnei Israel? This is your God. Bnei Israel have nothing to do with you. Asher he'elucha meretz Mitzrayim. This is crazy. I mean, we can judge them so badly, but it wouldn't be right, because once we know they are from the koyach of Bilam, as I'm going to explain through the Zohar right now, and I'm going to tell you the names. Also, the big instigators is going to be hard to believe, but this is exactly what the Zohar will say. And they were so highly intelligent. We have not even, I mean, all our neurons wouldn't compete with one of theirs. Just to tell you the level of intelligence they were. So all we can do, us, is to take the Tanaim, the Zohar, the Amoraim in the Gemara, the Tanaim in the Midrash, and the big Kabbalist, and learn their words. And from there, build a concept and understand who we are dealing with. Because in a different perspective, the Vilna Gaon says that the very same, and this is how we close the circle, the very same Erev Rav in Even Shlomo, we brought it in Parshas Beshalach, this very same Erev Rav that came out of Mitzrayim, and they were Amalekim, because there are 5 different sorts of Erev Rav. One of them is the Shoresh of Amalek, is the root, they come from Amalek. The same way will lead the Bnei Yisrael at the time of Mashiach. You hear my words? Because the Komana goes on it, Komana Kodesh, he goes on it ballistically, and Shabbos, I'm going to talk about it a bit more. And he gives signs how to recognize them, and so forth. But the Vilna Gaon is clear that the Komana is clear, the Divrei Chaim speaks about it. Those who gonna lead in the last generation, the Bnei Israel, are gonna be guaranteed Erev Rav. It's not the subject of the day, but I just wanted to mention that. Every time today you see someone create a chesed organization, at this. Today, when you analyze what's behind it, yes, it's a great organization, but at the end, what's the purpose? Most of the time, the purpose is for them to enrich themselves in a clean manner. Number 2, they have now not only money, but they have COVID. So, chas v'shalom that I will speak like this about great organizations that we have, but we have in Beis Din, you see all the schmutz that goes behind when people bring those guys. You see real schmutz. And I can tell you, there's a lot of them also that don't make it. But it's for another day. Let's go and understand. First, we're going to explain the first. So I broke this whole concept. Took me years to finish that. The concept of the ego in 4 big, huge blocks, which have sub-blocks. But the big blocks is understanding how foreigners, because the Zohar explained who were the Erev Rav, The Erev Rav were the magicians of Mitzrayim. Who were the magicians of Mitzrayim? The children and the brothers of Bilam Harasha. Now you understand the level of magic we're dealing with here, the witchcrafting we're dealing with? We're dealing with Yunus and Yumbrus, the two children of Bilam Harasha, and his 8 brothers. These were the leaders in Mitzrayim of all witchcraft. Once they saw that Moshe Rabbeinu was not using magic, they approached him and they told him, they say, Etzba Elohim, so they were interested by this godly power, and they told him, please, convert us because we want to be part of you. Moshe Rabbeinu accepted, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, nope, don't do it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu tells him, Ra'oi Ra'isi. The Zohar says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says there are 2 re'iyos, the 2 visions. Moshe Rabbeinu in his tefillah to HaKadosh Baruch Hu is going to say, Ra'isi es I saw these people. One, a human, can only see. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, which had laser eyes and could see through and through a person, knowing where he came from, his origin to his end, by still, all the details are not revealed to him. And the Midrash says, I saw what they want, but I know, so Moshe Rabbeinu HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they saw your miracles. That's why they entice, they want to make tshuva. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, don't be naive. That's not the reason they're coming to you. He says, why? Can you believe if you bring them to Har Sinai and they see that obviously their heart will open up? We have a human logic. We pulled building blocks that make sense to us and we project it onto another one. There is a cloud. Whatever logic you have can only work for you, not for the other. Your logic is according to the building blocks of your mind. It's not the perfect logic. It seems perfect to you because you're using all your brain for it, but you have to know that your brain is only a tiny fraction of the main brain called Knesset Yisrael. And then there's way more approaches that you can even comprehend in your own mind. And first building block today here we have, our das is failing. When a person relies on his das, on his brain, on his understanding, he will be a failure. If we take Erev Rav and calculate the number, it's 474. 474 equals to one word, das. The difference between a Ben Yisrael and a Goy or someone in between called Erev Rav, as we're going to see what it is which brain do I use? Moshe Rabbeinu said there all over says that he was attached to the upper, to the das Elyon, to the upper das, not his. He was not using his brain. He was connecting himself all the way up to the upper das, and from there bring the light, and whatever this does, even if it didn't make sense to him, that's what he did. That's a Ben Israel. A Goy is what? My brain says, this guy did that. I'm going to analyze it with my way, with my tools, and through that, I will define who he is or why he did that or the reasons behind and what his motives. If you would ask that person, you would see how wrong you are. But wrong, all in capital. Therefore, Chazal all over, especially in Beis Din, they tell you never to be choshed on another Beis Din. There's a klal. If there's people at Dayanim, we don't have all the details on our side to be able to judge a case. You know, they don't know what they're doing. There are so many fine lines in halacha that had this person knew those details, that would change the whole color of what he sees. But now, after he talked, and he comes back and he says, oh, I didn't know that. Well, how'd I know? It's too bad. You used your mouth. We already know where you belong. We already know what you're attached to. And we already know that you have no nefesh, ruach, or neshama like a Jew. We know already that you're not coming back for Tchias HaMeisim. It's not simple. These are things we are here and we are working towards two goals. First goal, our Olam Haba afterward. Chas v'shalom, we don't want to fall in the hands of the goyim, afterlife, meaning those dark forces, and become one of them, because we're never going to reach back the light. And we want to be zoiche to Tchias HaMeisim. And remember that point, please, because using that point, I will explain you what was the intention of Moshe Rabbeinu to tell the Leviim to go kill the other Jews. Kill your children, kill your... You're missing klippus, zemashchis, magefa. You know, we have people in governments that kill people. You know, remember about COVID, right? They lied to us right and left. And why? They wanted to skim a lot of people. So we don't need to have Jews killing. Why did he ask his brothers, the Leviim, to go kill so cruelly? Makes no sense. The other side, the Midas Adin, has enough camps and armies in order to carry out the din. There's no need for people in this world to soil themselves and to mark themselves with visions that all their life they're never going to be normal. How does Moshe Rabbeinu ask for this? You see, we're turning all around the das. It's all going to be, the Shiur is going to be completely around this, because this is how an Egel comes out. So these people, these children, Yunus and Yumbrus, were the one. The Zohar is extremely long this week on the explanation, and every part needs to have a lot of explanation. It has a lot of secrets, a lot of soidos, and a lot of yesoidos also. It's fundamentals. It's very hard to bring you. I'm going to bring you the main components here that will create this ego and the reasons behind it, and you will understand. And not only this, you will go out with something in the right pocket and something on the left pocket, which are two swords, which gonna be your best defense from now on. You're never gonna be a prey again. You will never be someone that you can talk to. You will know, and by sharpening your sword more and more, you can even know which threat is doing behind the scene. You can know exactly why is this person, what led him to be who he is, and try to lie, but right away for you, there's no lie. You caught up with what he says. And that's level one. Level 2, you can see with your eyes when you learn, but level 1, you can just hear someone and tell you exactly where he belongs and why and how he got there, through which way, which chet led him to be there. And this is extremely clear. Now, instead of living in a world with suffix, Bnei Israel have one nemesis. Our weak point is called suffix. Whenever you see a psik in the Torah, whenever you see a psik in the Torah, you have to know the command, it's one of his big Torahs, you have to know Amalek is there. Why? Suffix equals 240, like Amalek. Jews cannot take doubts. Whenever there's a doubt, we have to reinforce ourselves because we know Amalek is coming through the cracks and he's going to go right up to the head and the dust, and we cannot afford that. That's why in this parsha, there's a lot of psik everywhere. You see, even in the Tamim, Bes Hashem, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give me the strength and the health to be able to teach this Otzeres Chaim, this Torah of the Riyah Kodesh. You will understand what we learn also from the Tamim. Do you think the tropes in the Torah were just like this? No reason. We have tropes here just to sing it. Every trop at every place has a reason. Right after Kum, you have one there. Amalek is in here. This time is, but this Aaron saw it. These Amalekim of the Erev Rav are trying to come through the crack and try to make a cell to Aaron, but he saw through. He saw through their words by them doing chanifus, pretend about your brother is so great. He is the one that brought us up from Egypt. No, he's not the one. It's HaKadosh Baruch Hu that brought us up from Egypt. Moshe was the shliach. Why? The Zohar explains, and this is where we really starting understanding the building blocks also of the Bnei Israel. Moshe Rabbeinu, if you take the word Hevel got killed by Cain, right? By his brother. You know the reason, right? Because he desired the second wife of Hevel. She was very beautiful. And he killed his brother for her. Now Hevel died before his time. In other words, he didn't have time to correct the part of the Nachash that he inherited from his mother. I'm going to open a parenthesis here. I'm going to start because most of you are not clear about what happened between the Nachash and Chava. What is the Isser? The Gemara said that he slept with. Let me explain you according to the Zohar and Kabbalah what happened. The fact that she ate on his command is considered as she subjugated herself to him. And achila is exactly as a lot of time cohabitation is also used the word achila, yedia, it's always das. In other words, whenever someone is going to do what I'm asking him to do, I took control of his das. Now, so he had in his hand the Nachash, the Yetzer Hara, the Satan, whatever you want to call him, he had in his hand a power over the mind of the Bnei Israel. And as the generation went down, we all had as a mission to correct this and remove the grip that he had. So Hevel dying young was unable to correct, so he was imperfect. If you are imperfect, you cannot go to Gan Eden. And he suffered outside. And Cain will pay for it. Now, Hevel was composed by two components, the good and the bad, like the tree of life, the tree of the good and the bad. The bad of Hevel went to Bilam. The good of Hevel went to Moshe Rabbeinu. That's why they're going to clash from Moshe being a youngster in the house of Paroi. Already the one who wanted to kill him when he took the crown of Paro was Bilam. Moshe and Bilam come from the same place, the same source. All the people of their generations are considered the branches of those trees. Erev Rav comes from the tree of Bilam. From now, the parashas, besides Vayikra, when we're going to open a big parenthesis, that's going to be the clash till the end of the Torah. These two huge trees, Moshe Rabbeinu, Bilam. Moshe Rabbeinu is in Das Elyon, in the upper Das, so is Bilam, as it says in the Pasuk. Das Elyon. They come from the same place. Only what? Someone wants to correct, someone doesn't want to correct. Someone wants to do good, someone wants to sin. These are the two forces. Bnei Israel come from Moshe Rabbeinu. Erev Rav come from Bilam Arasha. But again, Erev Rav, it's all in the Das. Everything is going to be now part of the brain of the person, and it's his strength, and it's also his weakness. Now I'm asking you, is it possible that people that come, the branches of the tree of Moshe Rabbeinu, who are attached to the huge light of the upper dot, the upper Chokhmah Bina make one to get, when they go together, the Chokhmah and Bina, they create another sphere, which is called the Das. Chokhmah and Bina is Yud K. The Yud K of the Yud K Vav K. Is it possible that someone who's attached there, there's no Satan there, there's no Yetzer Hara there, he would come close to these letters, he would be burned. Ashes, fried, finished. Why would you do the ego? Why entice you to do the ego? I understand. They led the way. Why? When Bilam tried to entice Moshe Rabbeinu, did it work? No. Can you entice Moshe Rabbeinu? You're dreaming. Not going to happen. So how can you entice the branches of that very same tree that are suckling the very life from the tree called Moshe Rabbeinu? It's impossible. Why? Because now between them and the upper das, there's another intermediary, Moshe Rabbeinu. You want to tell me because of this, the Satan can approach? The Satan, when Moshe Rabbeinu was about to die, he was rejoicing. He came to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, tell him, please allow me, because all the lives of the people are given into my hand. I have to end them. Please allow me to go to Moshe and to take his neshama. HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, go. You know what happened to him? He got beaten up so bad First of all, he was so scared to approach Moshe Rabbeinu with these because of the light that was surrounding him, until it took him courage, and we became angry, pretending to scream, you know, like we know the cousins there where they scream to try to give themselves courage, and approach. What a beating he took. Yes, he's a malach, but Moshe Rabbeinu went much higher than these malachim. You can't against him. So where is the weakness that generated this downfall of the Bnei Israel to all the way till now? And every year that dies, every tzara that we have, part of it is because of the Egel. You know when the Egel took place? Which day of the year the Egel was made? Chaim Vital said it was on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Because in a pasuk of Tehillim, but it's Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. Do you understand why these 3 weeks start always bad? Everything they brought us was always trainloads of tsars. Always the Egel. Why? Because Bnei Israel got involved. How did they get involved? We see everywhere it says in the pasuk, it says ha'am. The Zohar says a cloud. You have to understand, this is a generality and a fundamental one. Whenever it says ha'am in the pasuk, it doesn't say Am Yisrael, Bnei Yisrael, Yisrael, something like this. We are not referring to the Bnei Yisrael. We're referring to the tree of Bil'am, only the Erev Rav. If you read the Meraglim, the 10 Nisyonos, that they fell and created problem in the Midbar, including the man when they go out in Shabbos. Every tzara that happened to Moshe Rabbeinu came, and the kfira to Hashem always came from the Erev Rav. Bnei Israel, where it was a peaceful island. They were with HaKadosh Baruch Hu all the time. At no time they had questions or anything like this. The das was clean. So why here? It was not. And look at the timing. Look at the timing. Moshe Rabbeinu took them to Har Sinai. They saw HaKadosh Baruch Hu and his glory. In front of their eyes in Har Sinai. They know what HaKadosh Baruch Hu is. They've seen the Merkava. They saw the chariot of the Shechina. They saw the Shechina Akdosha. Moshe Rabbeinu go up to Shamayim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu writes the Torah. And by the time it's completed, so we're talking about 40 days after, well, Nisan, Sivan, 6 Sivan, Moshe Rabbeinu went a week later to Shamayim. So it's about, it's about 5 weeks. 5 weeks after Matan Torah, the Egel was made, and that was the day they were dancing. Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, which is about 5 weeks after Matan Torah. You want to tell me that what you have seen there already faded in your mind? What kind of a mind you have? We're talking about fools here? We're talking about idiots here? Or we're talking about the greatest generations of all the generations? Nobody said that in the Zohar, in the Tikkunim says, no one will ever reach the level of the last one of this door, of this generation. So how is it possible that did the Egel? the Ari HaKadosh reveals that Bnei Israel never took part of the Egel, never had anything to do with it. However, some of them have sinned. How? But by intention, with the machshav. And Chazal say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu never counts the thought for Yidden, a thought as an action, besides in one place. Avodah Zarah. Why? Because you can worship an idol through just the mind. It's enough. So you can be Mekayim Avodah Zarah just with intent. And because, and this is why, this is considered that they took part of it. I have a big time problem with this. Big time problem. Even when the Leviim killed the 3,000, it says Ha'am. It says the Erev Rav. Nowhere. No. So what happened? They got forgiven? No, they died. I say they died. Where did they die? When do we speak about? Let me explain you something. Moshe equals 345. And this is, I'm not going to give you today gematrias of Drushim. I'm only going to talk fundamentals because today is very fundamental, and we'll finish that shiur in Bezoi Sabracha. When we're going to talk about, again, that beating that Moshe Rabbeinu gave to the Sultan. So in order to be able to give you, and especially when we're going to get in the parashas of Chukas, Balak, and Bilam, that comes back to now, so we have to have a very strong basis here. And the basis here is that Moshe 345. If you take, so 345, I'm going to teach you two things about Moshe Rabbeinu today. Moshe equals Kel Shakai, Aleph Lamed Shin Dalet Yud, which is the Yichud of Olam HaBeria, Asiya, Yetzira, where the Satan is, Beria. You understand why Moshe, Olam Haba Elyon, why Moshe Rabbeinu cannot be attained in ties or anything. What did they want to do, the Erev Rav? Elohim Acherim. Elohim Acherim equal 345, like Moshe, like Kel Shakai. There was no possibility to entice Moshe or anyone that was attached to him. Now, Moshe, the Ari HaKadosh says, Mem is for Moshe, Shin is for Sheis, and He is for Hevel. That's the three Gilgulim that Moshe Rabbeinu had. And the bad of Hevel, we said he went to Bilam. That's why Moshe has a Hey at the end, and the Vel is starting with Bil and the Ha'am, the Erev Rav, Baal, all the bad, exactly what we said, but now more anchored in words. Moshe Rabbeinu is the two letters Shin Mem, Sham Hevel, Bil Am. He is the heart, Lev, of the two letters of the Am. He is the engine. Everything that they have inside the Erev Rav, and that we're going to go through the desert till the end of the Torah now, you have to understand the motivations are coming from Bilam. Don't judge them good ever. There's nothing good about them. Not only they inherited the bad of Hevel, but they inherited also, Bilam inherited the powers of Moshe that could turn all this bad into good. But he decided, no, why should I do it? I want to enjoy myself. Not understanding that I doesn't exist. We say in Moedim, we say, even our lives is placed into your hands, Hashem. There's nothing we own. All we do is try to make the difference to be better on our way out of this world than our way in order for this, for us to deserve Olam Haba and Tchias HaMeis. That's the work we do. There's no here, I want to enjoy, I can relax, I'm in this world. No, if you were then yes, you have a place. But as soon as you say you're a kafir. Because you remove the space you're taking, you are saying, this is my spot in this world. In other words, it's mine and not God's. But if Meloi kol haaretz kevoido HaKadosh Baruch Hu fill all the world, in that case, you don't take any spot. You don't take any place. Therefore says the Yanuka that if a person wants to change his life, in these two sentences, he's allowed to speak to Hashem, even in Shemona Esrei, our lives are in your hands, so you can change them. You can give me what I need in order to accomplish what I want for you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's in your hand. Nobody can prevent you. And no matter what I do, I cannot myself make a dent in my life because my life is in your hand. And so for our souls. So when we sin HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we dirty our neshamas. But since our neshamas are in your hands, please, when you return it in the morning to us, return it clean. That's what we ask you, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Remove every layer of grease that we added because of our actions. So we are nothing. If we are nothing, the light is passing through us as if we were not there. That's Moshe. Bilam is, you're going to see the first pronounce come back all the time with Bilam. I. I take a place. In my place, there's no light. There's only darkness. And preventing Hashem, preventing nobody. Even Moshe Rabbeinu, he could not prevent. But he thinks that, I'm anchored here, take my place, this is mine and not yours. You don't understand. Nothing is yours. You don't even exist as a yid, talking, a person. You have to be passed through. Why? Because you don't want to be the one that prevent the light from Hashem going to your friend on the back. Because after 120 years, you're going to have the din. Well, your actions, these guys connected to you by neshama. And because of you, he didn't get the light. It's your fault. So that's why Avraham Avinu says, V'anoichi afar va'efer. I'm like dust. I'm not existing. V'nachnu ma, said Moshe and Aaron. What are we? We are nothing. David HaMelech says that I'm not even a person. All the big understood that the way to grow in this world, we cannot take root. It's like asking to take a tree and put it into the soil in the desert, which is salty and has no nutrients and nothing. You'll burn the roots in a second. A person doesn't take root in this world. A person takes root in Olam Aberia, our original world, where we came from. Even though we went down to be created in Olam HaYetzira, but you can go back to a fertile, to the Olam Haba, where everything is. So now that it's pretty much set, now the difference that we have between the Paro, which is the Oiref, the nape, and the Das of Moshe Rabbeinu. They're very close to each other. And this whole thing has played out. Now, Yunus and Yumbrus, they know that they have a problem. They come from the side of the Klippa. They're the children of Bilam. They're from the darkness. They want to create a piece of art that will be talking, that will try to entice the Bnei Israel to sin and renege Chas v'Shalom HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the intention. Now, they dress the intention in all kinds of things, but their intention is clear through their words. I'm going to break it down just a second, because now it's getting very, very sticky, and I need to explain them this. The pasuk said, we said, Vayikach miyodam. He took from their hand. What do you mean you took from their hand? We said, who cares if he took from their hand, from their feet, from the floor, whatever. Then, but it's in a very critical pasuk. It's in the pasuk where the העגל will come out. Aaron HaKohen take a bag. So the Zohar said, what did they do? Aaron HaKohen told them to go to their wives. And I will explain that too. And what they did to themselves and why. But first we're going to explain this point. Vayikach miyodam. The Zohar said the mistake was done here. I thought it's just the words, and we asked the question, they shouldn't be in the pasuk. No, you don't understand. The whole fundamental, the basis of the העגל is here. He took from their hand. And the Zohar brings a pasuk in Mishlei. I'm going to go into it in a minute, and I'm going to take you to the pasuk itself. But I just want to first to give you a prelude to that. Yad leyad loy yinake. The Gemara says that what's the intent of that pasuk is someone who hands money to a woman to look at her, even if he's like Moshe Rabbeinu that received the Torah from the hands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he will go to Gehinnom. Let's break down a little bit the words. I'm not going to philosoph on this, just of the Gemara. What is the example the Gemara said? Moshe Rabbeinu that received hand from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's sarcastic almost. We're talking about hand to hand to the bad, and you give me an example of hand to hand to the good. Obviously, hand to hand has something. When someone passes to your hand, it does affect you somehow, and big time, because the whole העגל, they took possession or control of Aaron at that point, to the point that the Zohar said, this is how they got. Why? They need, in order to make a creature, you need to bring both sides together, the right and the left. You cannot create a human is made with a side to the right and a side to the left. Why? Because we've been created with both sides together. Otherwise, there's no life. Life cannot be given only from one side. It has to be a combination, eish umayim. You need fire and water. You need ruach in the middle and offer at the bottom. But it's not important the others. I'm just talking the main components that are going to create the life is eish and mayim. The ruach is below. But on the top level is creating someone, a das, is eish and mayim. So they come from the left side. They couldn't do it. They have no access to the right side then. They're all dark creatures. Aaron HaKohen is a Kohen. Well, not yet, but he's going to be the Kohen. So he comes from Chesed. On the other hand, he's a Levi. So he combines. He's the only one at that point that combines both sides. That's why they went to Aaron Tafta. They wanted him. Now, we learned in the Shiur on the Shulchan in Parshas Vayakhel last year that what is Yam Suf? We all know already now Yam is the Malchus. Suf are all the dinim. How do you bring the dinim to the Malchus? Yam Suf equals 196. When they wanted to cross the Yam Suf, did the Yam open up right away? No, I started making all kind of crazy things, wave, tsunamis, whatever you wanted to scare Moshe and Bnei Israel. You're not crossing here, guys. Not going to happen. That's the dinim. Why? Because there was a kitron in Shamayim at that point. Yad times Yad, 14 times 14 equals 196. Now, every time you put two hands together, you bring the dinim. Therefore, in my introduction to the Shiur, I said you have to make sure who. Do you know why Hasidim don't even know themselves? Do you know they don't shake hands someone they don't know? Do you realize that? It comes from the very big rabbis. Why? Because when you put two hands together, automatically the koyach of the other is coming that you agree to give him your hand, he's going to be shoyded on you. It's going to control you. So you cannot give your hand to just anyone, because then you can have, you've been a Yamsuf, all of a sudden you were you will understand why we prevented to give a hand to a shikta, to a non-Jewish woman, for sure a Jewish woman, but even to a non-Jewish woman. I'll explain. Those people, the Erev Rav, the source is from the pasuk in Tehillim, Uv Moshav Leitzim Lo Yashav. Ashrei Ha'ish, says the Zerd, that's the Bnei Israel. Asher Lo Halach Batzas Reshayim, V'derech Chatayim Lo Yamar. Uv Moshav Leitzim Lo Yashav. That's the worst one. Derech Reshayim you can make tshuva, Derech Chatayim you can make tshuva. You know, Atzas Moshav Leitzim, there's no coming back. Why? Zohi Iman, Zohi Lilith, Iman Shel Erev Rav. Because who is the Moshav Leitzim? Who sits on the head of the head at the head of the table? The Lili, the Sitra Achra, which is the mother of the Erev Rav, which Tuma is Tumas Nida. Says the Zohar, Moshav, the same way the Nida and the Zaba, wherever they sit, it becomes Tameh. These people, the Erev Rav, had the Tuma of the Sitra Achra. Especially Yunus and Yumbrus that were the children of Bilam, and they excelled in Kishuf, and they were bringing upon them, there's a whole Indian before that the Zohar explained how they brought on them the Sitra Achra, the Ruach HaTumah, in order when they give it to the hands of Aaron, the metamehim, and his das shut down at that point. Says the Zohar HaKodesh, if he had requested from them to put it on the floor, and he had taken that gold from the floor, he would have been saved. The Agel would have never come out. Vaya'asehu Egel Masecha. And he made it. Who made it? The Satan. Why? Because not even Aaron is stomach. So they have the right. Who was speaking through his mouth? The Satan. Exactly like the Bechorim, when they used to put in Mitzrayim, they used to put a shame under the tongue. They used to kill them, put a name under the tongue, and they used to talk. That same kishuf happened here. It's the Satan. What happened? When a person becomes tummy, he has no more access to the das on top. He only has access to his lower das. So he has to be sure to train himself to understand, when I lost access to the upper das, I stop. I'm in the darkness. I don't make decisions. Because I'm going to make decision at this point with my das. I cannot do that. Go to the mikveh. Do something before, but you're not going to reconnect yourself just like this. Impossible. Says the Zohar in Pasha Shmois Gimel Amud Beis, the worst of all the tumas that affect the whole body, not only the body, ruach neshama of a person, is the tumas nida. Now you understand after Chazal gathered that even the non-Jews have the tumah of nida, why you got to watch when you give the hand, because you're getting all the influx of that tumah controls you, and you're being disconnected from the das area. Don't wonder if during your tefillah afterward you cannot connect yourself and see the light as usually when you do that. You have, if this happened, there's only one thing to do: go to mikveh and have a few kavanas when you go there that you want to go to. I want to give you a little side here and finish on this. Aaron HaKohen told them, and I'm going to answer the question, Parku Nizme Azav, remove the golden rings from you. Why did he say that? In order to create a rix between families, and that will delay them. And at that time, and Moshe Rabbeinu will come. That was the intent. How do we know that? The Zohar explained it like this. Is there anywhere in the words? Because then I will be able to answer and explain the grammatical error intently done in the Torah by Isparku Nizme Azahav, that's mentioned afterward. They couldn't get the one from their wife. They know the side of the dinim, the left, always seemed to be more cemented together, achdus, than the right. The right always used to seem to have cracks everywhere. However, that cement that's so strong, that cements all the parts of the left, is kina and sina, these two middles. In other words, towards each other, They harbor the same feelings. It's not only toward the rights, it's also toward each other. And Aaron HaKohen wanted to create a crack here. You go to your wife and say to your wife, I'll give a different shot on Shabbos, but from Rabbi Yonasan Ibishitz. But here, I'm going to go with the Zohar. You go tell to your wife, you know the present I gave you, that beautiful earrings and everything, give it to me. So what? You want to take it back from me? Are you crazy? Well, you need gold. Now all of a sudden you need money? Biza Sayam, what you got from the Egyptian, for the 100 generation, you couldn't spend that money. You want to take my earrings? Also the sons, same thing. You're coming to me? You stingy brat. You want to take my earrings when you have all the gold and all the gems? You can't even value the wealth that you have. Why do you want my earrings? The daughters just go get a drink or get an aspirin or something. Something's not right with you. They couldn't get it. Wouldn't happen. They went. They wanted so much to do the ego, they didn't take time to open the earrings and take them out. They cracked the ears. Vayisparku. Now look at this. They cracked, they hurt themselves. They were bleeding. And for a purpose, you will see. And this is why it says that, like vayis with the soft, meaning on themselves, what have they done? They hurt themselves. Parku nizmei hazahav equals 512. Exactly, Kina and Sina. The words of the Zohar, you find them behind the scene in the Pasuk. Time after time after time, you never be deceived. Whatever the Zohar says is within the words. Now, if you take that word, vayisparku, which is a very unusual word, you'll never see it again, equals 802. How many dibros we got? 10. So we have 10. How many words in the 12 commandments? 172. Oh, it's funny. You dibros ekev Yaakov. The Torah of Yaakov. How many letters in the dibros? 620. Keser. Keser itnu lecha malak yamen. Keser plus ekev plus yud equals 802. Precast oil. When they did that, they just didn't do that simply because they're stupid. Never underestimate them. They did that because the kishuf is to spill the blood of a person on the mizbeach of the Avodah Zarah. So they say, you know what? We go, at least here, we hurt ourselves, we're bleeding. Now at least we have the blood. We can put it on the mizbeach right away. What we wanted happen. How did everything start? Everything started because Yunus and Yubus came, gave the gold. They made sure each one had a package. No, one of them didn't carry everything. No, it had to be both. They gave it to Aaron and Aaron received it at that point. So we see that the I in this world, that I'm on control and I own myself, doesn't exist. Because you are under the powers of any external power that can affect you. In other words, you think you're in control. This is my hands. I do what I want. I have my head. I am in control. I can foresee. I can decide. I can do this. I can do that. You're the biggest loser in the world. And your end is going to be full speed crushing on a wall. Guaranteed. Now, the Bnei Israel attached, no, we transparent. We don't hold anything. But the danger is words of people and what they give us, or when they touch us, or when they want specially to shake our hand. Sometimes it's better. That's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us oizen. He gave us ear to hear what someone say, and you know if yes or not, because this is how the Egel came out with nothing else of the children here from the fire by itself and being speaking. Amen.